Hi, welcome to Knox Makers. Hello, everyone out there on the internet. We are here for our show and share every Tuesday night, no matter what. Rain or shine, pandemic or no pandemic, we're here, or at least on the internet, we're showing off. We like to do our show and share. We show off things that we're working on or we've made, or things we've completely messed up, or just pictures of something we've made, or anything at all. And we're going to start with Paul with something he made a while ago, but is showing it off tonight. Yay, Paul.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
I'm taking one for the team. Okay, so what was it, last year before last, we did a name badge making party night on a Tuesday, and people could come down and make name badges. And I decided to make mine out of aluminum. So I took a bit of aluminum and I printed a stencil out with vinyl based off of the image I wanted, and stuck it on the aluminum, and then I used my etching marking thing to etch it with science. And it turned out okay, I think. At one point it had about 100 LEDs in it and it was really bright, but that fell apart and it was really heavy, so I took them all off and now it's just a hunk of metal. So
Was it chemical?
it was some etching solution that I get at Granger. I don't remember the name of it.
And then you just wiped it off?
Yeah, you put it on, and then I have a transformer, for power that you plug into the wall that I converted from an old printer, and I use electrolysis to remove the aluminum and etch the surface, and it leaves a kind of faded white look to it. So, yeah, that's my name badge, and I don't like wearing it because it's too heavy, but I will for you.
How much did it weigh when it had LEDs on it?
Oh God, LEDs in the battery, I think it was like about a half pound or something. It was like, my shirt was like this. And I left it running in my backpack just to see how long it would run for. And it finally cut off after about 4 hours. And I think Tracy walked by and she's like, "What's going on with your backpack?" Because I had it looked like it was on fire. But yeah, that's that. It's fantastic, I know. How am I doing on time? Do I need more filler? Do we need more filler?
If you want to keep talking.
Okay, I made another thing. People get married. That's what I'm told happens sometimes. So I saw these like tchotchke things on the internet of maps from Google, and they printed them on these hearts, and they were so adorable. And they said things like, "Hello, will you? I do." So adorable. And they wanted like $500 for them. And I was like, no. So I had, wood out in the garage that I was going to use for projects that I never got around to. I know people that have wood have those project pieces, a lignum piece or some ebony, the shop ebony that never gets used for anything. So this is my shop Purple Heart that was like really cool, and I never got around to using it. So I sanded it real smooth, and then I lasered some Google Maps on it, where we met, where I proposed, and where we got hitched, and glued it to a base. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but that's a map of downtown Knoxville with a push pin at the grimy bar near the bus station, and it's oh, this is a better one. That's a better picture. Okay. Huh? Oh, yeah. You're killing me here. Okay. Yeah, so it actually turned out okay. The laser did a pretty decent job of cutting the streets in there. I didn't have to do much finishing, just sand it a little bit and sprayed some shellac on it, and away we go. Anniversary gift. Woo! Apparently, I think 5 years or... yeah, wedding for 5 year, yeah, I guess. 6. Whatever the wood one. The wood anniversary, I don't know. that was the one I was waiting for, and then I just never got to do what I wanted to do for it because I couldn't sneak down here to make the furniture. Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
I'm going to show off a picture of something I made too, because we're really desperate for show and shares. I made this for work. This was a thing I designed for work. My coworker had to solder a bunch of these limit switches, and they were a real pain to get to hold the limit switches, and even like the little clampy clamps, it was just not working out well. So I designed this rectangular thing in OpenSCAD, and it printed in about 5 minutes, and it worked great. It holds the limit switch there, and then it has little grooves to hold the wires in, and it was my one-day maker project. Thank you. And last we have Matt, who is somehow going to show a 25-ton hydraulic press. Do we need to go outside for this?
Carries it in his pocket.
Yeah,
He carries it in his pocket.
technology.
Right?
You zoom out.
Yeah, there's that.
There we go. Hey everybody, my name is Matt Weinberg, guest here tonight, and recently finished building a hydraulic press that I designed for forging knives. It was about 9 months of design and fabrication. So this is a video that my wife took of first time we got hot metal in it, so I was pretty excited. So it makes moving metal, I mean, it moves it like Play-Doh. So takes 90% of the hard work out of it, which is nice. So.
You can help Andrew make one of those for us?
Right?
Yeah, it was about a $3,000 build, 3 horsepower motor, VFD, 11 gallons per minute pump. So it was fun to build, and I'm definitely glad that I built it. So here's a picture. Let's see here. There's one that might look better on the projector.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was quite a bit of work, but
I bet it was real satisfying to use though.
yeah, the first VFD, Brock was there with me, and I had accidentally ordered the wrong one. It was supposed to be 220 single phase in, and it was 110 in, and I hooked it up to 220, so blew the varistors off the board. We had arc flash. It was exciting. So that VFD went straight to the bin. But
Very nice.
yeah, so that's the press.
Thank you.
Yeah. I personally like the hydraulic over the power hammer. You get a little bit more control, and if you really want to squish something, you can just send it. So the power hammer. Yeah. Yeah, and the RAM moves at about 2 inches a second, a little over 2 inches a second. So it. Yeah, it's a W14 by 30, and then there's a 1-inch steel plate welded onto it as well. And at max force, it still flexes at about 1/8 of an inch. So I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Did you put the 1-inch plate on because you knew it would be flexing, or you saw that it flexed?
No, I knew it would be flexing, because everything's welded together. So I went ahead and put that on the front end, because I knew it was going to be a lot. For the 15-ton, you wouldn't need it, but for the anything over 20. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you. We do have one more share. Ryan has something to share tonight. Where'd he go? Did he run out? No. That's large.
All right.
Ryan is brought to you by the letter E. It's them.
W? Any letter.
Okay. So, as many of you know, for a while I've been doing the giant letters thing, where I've made these 5-foot tall set of letters and numbers that I've been lending out to various events, parties. This next week, there's a child help event here at the World's Trade Center, the World's Fair Park. And yeah, so they've rented out child help, but so that's what I've been doing. But I would like to share a couple of small innovations that I've come up with along the way to getting to where I'm at this point. So, for one thing, as I've begun to build my inventory, a big problem that I ended up was where to actually store them. And I ended up deciding that the attic was a pretty good place. And so I don't actually really have a good photo of the thing, but I made something of a sled that would ride up the ladder to my attic. And as you know, it was a block and tackle kind of pulley, and the idea was that I could lift about 10 or 15 of these letters at a time up into the attic with just one person. It didn't really end up working out though, because the letters, being letters, are rather irregularly shaped. And this sled, from the part that's closer to the ground at the moment, to the top there, is about 3 feet wide. And what I was dealing with was all kinds, they were just wanting to fall everywhere. So I did a couple of reinforcements to it and built it out a bit before finally realizing that it was just actually pretty easy just to get a helper and just throw them up and down the stairs, because they're not very heavy. I got to that point when I realized that I was going to have to extend this another 3 feet and make another row of risers there in order to actually keep the things in. So I kind of gave up on this crane entirely. But I ended up, I had to replace my attic ceiling fans so they wouldn't all warp. And finally, once I got them up there, I needed a place to actually store them. So I made this rack that kind of sits down on the rafters. I took a miter saw and chopped these two furring strips every couple of inches, and then took a length of PVC pipe, cut a slot in the middle for that, and then shoved the PVC pipe into that slot. It ended up working pretty all right. They're pretty fragile at pulling in and out, so I'm going to reinforce them further. But for a solution that holds about 50 letters for about $20 worth of materials, I'm pretty happy with it. And then finally, a big problem that I was having with these, for a while I was using, I needed a way to actually hold them up. For a while what I was doing is I had an armature back here, which ran along the back, had a hinge near the bottom here, and a second hinge up here, and it would fold out into a triangle. I don't actually know if I'm still on camera.
Yeah.
Fold it out into a triangle. And then it would all lift into place. Well, the trouble with that I ran into was I had to be able to transport them. And I ended up getting a new car, which is a Nissan Versa Note, thinking, oh, this is great. It's just big enough to handle a number of these letters. But it does not hold the extra foot of triangle that was coming off of these. So what I ended up with I took my scraps from making the letters in the first place and made a number of these. This is two different sizes, but took these. There's a second piece that's a reinforcer, and this all gets glued together, and it's one solid piece. On the back, I've made a number of these. It's just a receiver, just basically a way to keep a pin about an inch away from the back. I'd actually like to rework these because the problem I'm having with them is the way that they're made right now. The screws that are holding them to the front are splitting the 2x4 that they're made of. But apart from that, this has been an excellent solution. I take that if it's not clear. It gets laid down with the kickstands, letter comes up, and slots into place, obviously with this piece on the back. And it keeps it actually quite stable. I take and the next thing I'm going to do is I have a number of bricks which are about the same height as this piece right here, which, I don't need to show a photo. So the bricks are actually about this size. So my next step is I'm going to take those bricks and epoxy basically an L bracket on the top of the brick so that you have brick over here, and then on this coming off, you have an angle and coming down. And it should hold it very stable, even in the wind. Yeah, I think that's about what I got. Any questions? All right.
Very nice.
Thanks.
That's it for show and share, unless someone has been inspired in the past 10 minutes. Anything? No? Okay. We have one class on the calendar right now. It is a new class that's never been taught here before by this person. It's a lock-picking class. There's the wood. Is it on the calendar? There's a woodworking class on the calendar as well that I did not see in my 5 seconds of checking the calendar. It's on what day? Thursday, 2 days from now? It's on a Thursday coming up. If you need wood authorization, that's the place that you need to go is sign up for that class. Probably not this week. No, I think it's next week. But the lock-picking class is being taught by Doc, who is a newer member here, and he owns a key shop in Knoxville. And he's teaching a class on picking locks and the ethics of lock sport. And because some people might frown at that, so they talk about when you should or should not pick people's locks. You get a set of picks with the class, and you get to practice, and he'll teach you all the stuff about that. It should be really interesting. That'll be in the classroom, and that is on the 22nd, which I believe is a Wednesday. So those are all the announcements I have tonight. Now it's go and hang out and make things time. If you're new and you'd like a tour, you can talk to me and I will show you around. Thanks for coming.